When I criticize conservatives, I'm being emotional and irrational. But when I do the exact same thing to the left, I'm praised for it by conservatives. What is that about if that's not hypocrisy? Kenyan Hippie. I should start a very simple couch conversations, kind of a video style, where we just sit here and we just talk about what's going on, and we rant a little bit and keep it casual. Hi, if you just clicked on my video, welcome to my page. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Sorry I have been gone for a while, y'all. Life and things and family. Sometimes it's good to take a break. I have, however, been very consistent posting on my shorts, my YouTube shorts and my Instagram, very consistent. Let's talk about what's going on with conservatives at the moment. Wow, y'all. It is a mess, okay? It is messy. It is messier than Jerry Springer, okay? Wow. So where do I even start? Here we go again. Conservatives are acting all ghetto. Yo, what is this? Do you think you're doing anything with this meme? By the way, in case you want to look at Somalia as a whole, how about you show Mogadishu, which is like more modern? So if you're going to try to compare the two, make it make sense, right? And no, I'm not defending Somalia. I am, however, calling out your hypocrisy. And people who live in huts, I promise you, are happier than those people who are homeless in California. Can we talk about the fact that apparently y'all on the woke right think it's okay for someone to call people the N-word because they did something to her? So you think two wrongs make a right? Can you people look at the mirror and say you're doing the right thing? Oh, because he tried to do this. Oh, Shiloh Hendricks, but then Carmelo Anthony, but then the black activist, but then. So what? None of that justifies calling anyone the N-word. I don't care what they did to you. Have them arrested. Defend yourself. But trying to justify nonsensical behavior that is childish and thinking that's the way to go, you guys are really worrying me. I know this is going to be shocking to some of you, but there's a way to call out bad behavior while not making fun of others. I know it's shocking. Repeat after me. A racial slur is a racial slur no matter who uses it and when it's used. Nothing justifies using a racial slur ever. Hypocrites. And you call yourselves the conservatives. Do you wonder why people are leaving the conservative movement and becoming moderates? It's this kind of behavior. You're acting just like the leftists, so congratulations to all of you. I have said this multiple times, but I am becoming very, very aware that some conservatives are not who I thought they were, and they lack critical thinking skills, which is very sad because the mob mentality has taken over the conservative movement. Not all of it, but a lot of it. It's a very, let's go all run this way, let's all run this way. And if you're in the middle and you're not running either way, then you're the bad guy. And when you call out this side, you're the bad guy. But when you call out the other side, you're okay. What am I talking about? I criticize across the board. I don't just criticize leftists or liberals, extremists or BLM or black activists or FBA. I call out everyone, including people on the right, people who believe in identity politics, judging people because they have a septum ring. They're like, oh, all people with septum rings don't use their brains. I'll call them out. Those people happen to be on the right. People who lump everyone as a group. That's racism. That's very ignorant. People who believe that illegals represent all third world immigrants. I call them out, especially if it's based on skin tone. If you lump people together based on skin tone, that is the literal definition of racism. They're doing it on the right too. Can you imagine? The hypocrisy on the right is also very astounding. I have noticed that when I criticize a leftist or a liberal, whether or not, and most of you guys have seen my content, The videos I make are not necessarily geared toward me. I very rarely have a video. Back in 2021, 2022, I used to respond a lot to direct comments toward. Nowadays, it's just anyone. I will stitch any video where I feel I need to say something or I have something to add to it. It could be in support or it could be a criticism of a certain ideology. I never attack people personally because that's, again, foolishness and very immature. But when I do that to conservatives, it's a problem. But when I do it to the left, and even when I used to use I've calmed down, okay? When I used to use my spoon, the spoon of truth, to smack my phone in frustration, or when I used my floof, I would get praise, right? Oh, get him, African hippie, hit them again. Okay, but when I criticize conservatives, oh ho 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 ho, when I criticized Matt Walsh, even Charlie Kirk, when they said, oh, third worlders should not be allowed to come to America, we should pause all immigration except those who are not from the third world. Okay, so now you're going to cherry pick immigrants based on their skin color? Why? Or based on the countries they're from? What is a third world? So I call that stuff out. I was told I was being emotional. I was not thinking straight. That's ridiculous to me. When I criticize conservatives, I'm being emotional and irrational. But when I do the exact same thing to the left, I'm praised for it by conservatives. What is that about if that's not hypocrisy? I have noticed a lot of, like, a mass migration. I don't even know what to call this. It's a very interesting shift happening within the conservative movement. And I talked about this in a previous video. Check it out here, where people are starting to bundle themselves in certain groups depending on how they feel about Israel or America. And to be honest, I'm glad that a lot of people are waking up to the fact that it's either side is messed up. Yes, the Republican Party is more pro-America. That goes without saying. But even within those sanctions, it's not a one-way street. It's not black and white. Some stuff belongs in a gray area. And there are people who do not want to see the gray area. But some are waking up to the gray area. And they're becoming moderates. So there are more Republicans who are now becoming moderates. And I can see why. Because, like I said, if one side attacks me, then you go to the other side where you feel safe. But then when you speak out against that side, you're also kicked. Where do you end up? In the middle. A lot of people are centrists now. I don't blame them. And it's happening within the conservative movement. When I tell you all, it has been an eye-opener. It's been very interesting. I have also seen a lot of Candace versus anti-Candace camps. If you believe Candace Owens has enough strength and power to divide the conservatives, then you're giving her too much power. You're placing her on a pedestal. And you look like a sheep if you're among the group of people who just, she must be going through some kind of postpartum psychosis. She had one child after the next. Oh, she was in love with Charlie, therefore that's why she's disrespecting TPUSA. Oh, she's doing this and that. And it's like, you can feel however you want to feel about her. But one thing I appreciate about that woman is the fact that she is not satisfied with what information we've been given. Why aren't more people asking questions? We may never even get to the bottom of what really happened that day. What I will say is the people pushing back, anyone pushing back on people asking questions, you're part of the problem. If people asking questions is bothering you and you think it should not be done, we should not question anything, we should just take things at face value, then you're not really a conservative. I was under the impression that the conservatives, at least the movement in itself, was about asking questions, seeking the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is, but only when it's certain people, right? Is that the condition? That's what I'm seeing lately. I have also realized that there are conservatives who I looked up to, I respected, and apparently they feel a certain way about African immigrants or third world immigrants. So babe, what do you think of this meme?
Assume that was posted by Nick Fuentes.
No, it's by a page called Raging Americans. But then I reposted it on our page because I figured we have very sensible followers
And then I got a few interesting comments. It says it's not about color, it's about culture. Thoughts?
I mean, I think that's a very blanket statement, ignorant comment. If all the places that were crossed off, if you're going to assume that it's about culture, there's a lot of places that have far better cultures or more superior cultures, in my opinion, like Japan, and they were crossed off.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot cleaner, a lot more disciplined than we are, but we're saying that we shouldn't allow them here because of culture. I also saw that they said South Africans, unless they're white. So I don't think that's a cultural thing, because South Africans, regardless of race, all come from the same cultural area, because culture is an area thing, it's not a race thing.
Right.
So regardless if they're black or white, they're gonna have the same culture as each other, being in South Africa in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like a meme was based more on race than it was culture.
He's an immigrant, just like me. He came to America the right way, just like me. He pledges allegiance to the American flag, just like I do. He sat for the same citizenship test I sat for. So what makes him think he has more of a right to be here than a fellow Kenyan?
He actually talked to you about it?
Yeah, these are the statistics about Kenya. There's crime, there's terrorism. So immigration should not be allowed from those countries.
What terrorism is in Kenya?
Last I checked was Al-Shabaab, which is actually the Somali extreme Islamists, but
And if he's going to say terrorism from Kenyans, and the only thing I could think of Kenyans defying the government is because the government is trying to raise their taxes, which would be more of like a Democrat, like liberal aspect from the government, and the people are more conservative and are more like conservatives in our country. And, culturally too, Europe is far more in line with our American liberals than they are American conservatives. Saying that certain areas, because they're European, are going to be more in line with us because that's where our ancestors came from isn't true. We wanted to be more free than what Europe was allowing us to be, because Europe didn't allow the freedom of our religion for our Christian beliefs. And I feel like a lot of those third world places that they said shouldn't be allowed here are far more devout Christians than Americans are. Over half, I'd say, of the places that they said shouldn't be here are Christian. You want to say they shouldn't be here because of religious reasons, that wouldn't make sense either. Right. So I think that was just a post based on racism, because that would make more sense than any cultural, religious. Those don't make any sense in the countries that they picked. Every place they picked was non-white. And the places that were non-white, they said, except for white people. So that definitely was not cultural or religious based. That was race based.
If you think someone's color determines their culture, you're racist.
And I was very shocked to see a fellow immigrant, someone I have really gone head to head for in the comment section, because he was getting attacked by liberals and leftists because he's a very outspoken immigrant like myself. Difference is he's from Romania, so we don't have the same skin tone. But apparently, according to him, he feels it's okay to segregate the desired countries of immigration by skin tone. But he claims it's not about skin, it's about color, it's about culture, not skin tone. However, all the places where immigration should be allowed are non-white. So what does that say? I was flummoxed to see him reacting that way. I was like, wow, not you too. So you think I have less of a right to be here? Kenyans have less of a right to be here than Romanian immigrants because we happen to be this skin tone, therefore we behave a certain way? All because of the Somalis. So because of illegal Somalis, conservatives have decided all third world immigrants are crap and trash like the illegal Somalis. You're acting dumb. I'm going to call you guys out. If you're one of those people who's thinking that way, yeah, do better. Do better, okay? Every time I talk about the fact that it's not Islam, it's extremism. It's not Islam, it's Sharia law that's the problem. When I say that Islam is protected under the First Amendment, y'all, unless someone changed the constitution and they put exemptions, Islam is a religion, last I checked. I have American friends who are Muslim. I have MAGA friends who are Muslim. Are they not allowed to be Muslim now because you guys hate Islam? The fact that you're going to say you hate Muslims and you call yourself a conservative, but yet you mock the left because of their lack of tolerance makes you a hypocrite. I have seen conservatives, especially dark-skinned conservatives, so disappointedly mocking Africans, the way they live. Those who live in huts, they're mocking them, saying, oh my God, thank God for the white colonizers. You know how illiterate you people sound? I get trying to make fun of a painful part of your history, but even I never make fun of your ancestral history because I know it wasn't a joke. The people I mock are those in this day and age who still claim the pain of their ancestors and the pain of slavery, and they didn't live through it. But one thing I will never do is mock the people who were enslaved. I wasn't there. I know it was hard. Colonialism was not fun. Not for Kenya, not for any other country. Don't poke fun at Africans because they live a simple life. We have both metropolitan and traditional rural areas. And they're both Africa. And we're proud of all of them. The same people you're laughing at, they don't have credit card debt. They eat well so they don't get cancer. They don't have car notes to pay for and to get the cars repossessed. They don't stress every single day and night working 40, 60, 80 hours a week. You do, but you mock them. And you call yourself a conservative and you're tolerant. Where? The hypocrisy I've seen within the conservative movement, it has been eye-opening to say the least. When I criticize this kind of mentality and thinking, people make excuses for it. This is what I was talking about, the woke right. Check that link here. If you think it's okay to mock Africans and how they live, the rural Africans, and you don't take criticism, you need to check yourself. If you think it's funny to joke about colonialism, the same colonialism that led to so many murders, the same colonialism that has caused so much tribalism. African countries got along before the colonialists came. What do you think tribalism came from? They were divided because the colonialists would prefer one tribe over another, that they would pit them against each other. What do you think happened in Burundi in 1994, Rwanda, Burundi? The Hutus and the Tutsis. How do you think that beef began? Do your homework. Before you go opening your mouth and thinking it's funny to say we thank the white colonizers, do some homework. You people, I am so disappointed. Wow. I don't know where to start. I just thought I'd come on here and ramble for a while and talk about how I feel. So, for those who really believe Candace has divided people, you're not giving people enough credit. For those who think that, we're going to lose the midterms because of Candace Owens, you need to stop putting her on a pedestal. And you need to freaking go outside, put the phone down, and go smell some grass. You don't realize how much these platforms are pitting you against each other. Tom MacDonald has been singing about this for ages. Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, put things on the news. And then all you do is fight one another. How can you not see you're doing the exact same thing that you mock the left of doing? Oh, look at you guys are just fighting against each other. What are you guys doing? I'm so tired. I had to take a break for a few days from my Insta feed. Every freaking day, I log into my feed. It says, Candace Owens this, Candace Owens did that, Candace Owens did that, Candace Owens did that, Candace Owens did that. Leave it alone. Leave her alone. If you feel she is misleading people from the midterms, you make content about the midterms. How about that? How about you counter what she's doing instead of obsessing about her? It's giving stalker energy. The more you feed into it, the more of it you see. Why not block her? You all need to grow up. I do not know what is happening, but I have a lot of question marks. And I don't care if I lose followers for this. If you feel this is not for you, please go ahead and unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever it is. I am not going to make content just to appease people. I will always tell the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And I will criticize anyone. It doesn't matter outside of the aisle you sit. Whether you're my friend, a conservative, a liberal, a leftist, a right-winger, I will criticize you. Because we need to have these conversations. Otherwise, we will not going to grow. Thank you for joining me on this couch conversation. I know it was super random, but I feel like every now and then I just want to do a ramble or a rant. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so. I will see you guys in the next one. Kenyan Hippie out.